Hey guys, welcome to a TBR video featuring my TBR cart. I just restocked this recently and it's been a long time since I did a TBR video sharing my cart, and I'm excited to do that today. And I may have come up with like the perfect TBR formula, the different kinds of genres I want in my reading life throughout the month. I read from a variety of genres. I'm not someone that just sticks to one and reads through. I like to flip back and forth because I kind of have reading ADHD in some ways. I like variety. So I came up with a little formula. I wrote down a few different ideas of different types of books that I want to be included in my TBR, in my teeny tiny little notebook here. And we're gonna see if we can pull something together. And then in addition, I have a few other books I need to grab as well. This is reminding me I need to pull a few off my shelf first. Okay, now I think maybe I'm adequately prepared with all my books here. So the first kind of book that I want on my TBR each month of this year is an Agatha Christie. So I'm trying to solve an Agatha Christie mystery every single month this year. And I will still have more Agatha Christie that I haven't read by the time it's over, but I'm like slowly checking those boxes. At the same time, it's slow enough that I'm enjoying each read. So I think that my Agatha Christie for May is going to be Why Didn't They Ask Evans? But this, I want to ask you guys, because for those of you that have read it, is this like a proper whodunit? Can I solve this? Because when I did my April TBR, it turns out the book that I chose for that is not a good one. I can't remember. It didn't end up being a proper like whodunit mystery that I could solve, so I had to switch. So if you know, let me know if Why Didn't They Ask Evans is a proper whodunit. If it is, this is what I'm going to be reading for me. I just realized I forgot to turn on my little lights. I'm not very prepared today. It's so bright in here already, I don't even know if they actually make any difference except right behind my hair. Okay, so I've got my Agatha Christie, that's step one. Step two is my two challenges that I'm doing. So I'm doing my Read Your Bookshelf challenge, and I'm doing Kayla's like Books and Lala's Buzzwordathon. So for the Read Your Bookshelf challenge, the prompt for May is a new to you author. So I thought I would just go to my TBR cart here and pull off a new to me author. And there are so many options for this. I'm gonna like pick out the top three and then maybe just do like a random number generator for the one that wins, because I'm really curious. I've heard really good things about Lady Jane Disappears / Janie. Still don't know how to pronounce that. Maybe I should get the audiobook so I can see how the narrator pronounces it. So there's this one. Then, where was the other one? Oh yeah. I'm kind of leaning towards Where the Crawdads Sing. I just talked about this when I filled out my TBR cart. Not normally my kind of pick, but something different, and I've heard some good things and some not so good things. So I'm okay with DNFing a book if I don't like it. And who else have I not read from? Well, there's quite a few actually. Let's pick one more. Okay, let's just go with The Queen's Rising. So we've got, I don't know what this is, contemporary, maybe historical fiction, honestly. Oh yeah, it was set in late 1969. Possibly dual timeline, something. This is Christian historical fiction, a family built, or a house built on secrets, and this is YA fantasy of some sort. Yeah. So maybe I'm just gonna pull out a random number generator, get a number between 1 to 3. So we'll go 1, 2, and 3, and see what we get here. Okay, I'm gonna hit generate, and I'm gonna show you first, and then 2. Okay, so this one will be my pick for a new to me author, Joanna Davidson Polianto. Man, still not good with the names. That will be my new to me author that I try for the month of May. Put those back. Then the Buzzwordathon prompt is directions. And I didn't pre-plan this at all, so I'm going to see if I have anything that has directions on it. Tunnels below. Below could kind of be a direction. Oh, the golden compass. Like, compass is not a direction, but it has to do with directions. Interesting. I don't feel like any of the ones I have there really have to do with direction, but sometimes I just miss like the most obvious thing. So I have a few other books here that I'm going to be putting on my TBR. I am doing the short story readathon, co-hosting that for the month of May. And so I did get out Stars Above. This is a short story collection of Lunar Chronicle short stories that follow that series. So above is just as good of a word as below. But is that a direction? I'm going to take a look at my TBR shelf here and see if I have anything. Okay, it doesn't look like I have anything that's any more of direction than above or below. So I'm going to do Stars Above, which is kind of one that I had planned on starting / reading anyway. So I'm going to do this one. That will be my next one on my TBR. Now I'm pulling out my little TBR formula book. So one thing I wanted to include each month, give this a try, see if this works. I feel like this is going to be good variety, is a middle grade. Now, one of my options here is The Tunnels Below. So I could do this. See, we're gonna have to do a random number generator again because I want to do The Tunnels Below. I also want to do Prairie Lotus. So this is kind of Little House on the Prairie vibes. This one is, I don't know, it must be fantasy set in London tunnels. Oh, we've got The Length of a String, that is historical fiction. These are the three that I like most want to try. So we're gonna go 1, 2, and 3 again and see what the random number generator does this time. And just so you know, I'm not cheating. There's my 2 from last time. 3. So, The Length of a String. Okay, I've heard really good things about this. It has to do with adoption and World War II and a black girl and a Jewish community and I don't know other than that. So I've heard really good things. Lots of people read this one for middle of grade March. That will be a good one to add. And if I have extra time, I might come back and pull some of these off as well. Next up on my list was a non-fiction. Now I do have quite a few non-fiction on the go already. I have a couple I pulled out from the library and I really wanted to get to this one. So this is Newspaper Blackout by Austin Kleon. Just a bunch of newspaper blackout poetry that he did from newspapers. So I'm going to add this one. I don't think this will take long at all. Maybe it'll inspire me to do even more blackout poetry. And then I have 2 books here, both by Sarah Clarkson, who actually would be mostly a new to me author. I've read books that she has co-written, but never a book that she's written on her own. So we have Book Girl. This is something about crazy stickers are covering up the subtitle. Something through the treasures and transforming power of a reading life. It probably says on the inside. A journey through the treasures and transforming power of a book life. So I like to read. I thought this would be an interesting one to try. Unfortunately, it feels very grimy from the library. And then she just came out with her newest book, This Beautiful Truth, How God's Goodness Breaks into Our Darkness. So this one I also includes like a bunch of book lists. I don't know how much of the book is actual writing and how much is lists, but I think this one is just purely a non-fiction book. And it says, we live in a broken world. Amid the daily realities of sickness and isolation, disappointment and pain, it can be profoundly difficult to grasp the real goodness of God. But this is where God breaks into our darkness with beauty. So I'm going to put this on my stack. Whether or not I get to all 3 nonfiction, who knows, but they're ones I would like to get to this month. Okay, next up I have a mystery / suspense. So I am doing an Agatha Christie already, but I wanted to pull another mystery suspense book to put on here. And actually, now that I think of it, I don't really have much for that genre on here. Interesting. So I just went and grabbed a mystery book off of my library shelf here. This is Maisie Dobbs, and I shared this one I think in my library haul that I shared a while ago. I still have it out. I actually was about to start it the other day, but then I realized I'm going to be reading my Agatha Christie book next, and I didn't want to read this right before it. So this might be a good one to get to in May. This is a Maisie Dobbs got her start as a maid in an aristocratic London household when she was 13. And then her employer soon became her patron, taking the remarkably bright youngster under her wing. And then something about her friend, often retained as an investigator by the European elite, recognized her intuitive gifts and helped her earn admission to the prestigious college in Cambridge. And so war broke out, etc., etc. I think this is a mystery book that takes place around 1930-ish. She starts being a private investigator in 1929. So, I don't know. I've heard good things. I feel like this might give me Agatha Christie vibes I'm hoping for. So, this might be my mystery book for the month. Then I wanted to read a classic book. So, I think I already know. I thought about continuing the Anne series, but I wanted to check a book off of my classics that I want to read before I die list. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this one. So it's another L.M. Montgomery, but it's Jane of Lantern Hill. I don't know anything about this book. It's for as long as she can remember, Jane Stewart and her mother lived with her grandmother in a dreary mansion in Toronto. Jane always believed her father was dead until she accidentally learned he is alive and well and living on Prince Edward Island. And then she spends the summer at his cottage on Lantern Hill. Oh, that sounds fun. I love L.M. Montgomery's descriptions of the Prince Edward Island countryside, and so I think this would be a really good one. A little bit of a break for the Anne series. I know I only have 2 books left, but it's feeling a little bit sloggy, so it'll be good to take a little bit of a break, and Jane of Lantern Hill is going to be my pick for my classic. Okay, I've got 2 more genres that I want to read in the month. Now, this is looking like a huge stack of books already, and like that's not including my whole short story readathon TBR that I already shared. So it's gonna be a lot of books, but that's okay. Next up is historical fiction. So I really want to get to a historical fiction book in May. And it's not a genre I read a ton of, but I was like, one a month, I can do that. So I have a couple options here again. Oh man, I feel bad. The 13th Tale is still sitting there and it's not going to get picked this month. I'm going to read that one. So, I was thinking either The Last Year of the War. This is a Susan Meisner book. Or I have another one of hers here. Secrets of a Charmed Life. I feel like these are my like real historical fiction books on here. So maybe we'll do a random number between 1 and 2. We'll go, this one is number 1 and this one is number 2. Okay, between 1 and 2. Show it to you. Generate. Oh, and focus. What did it pick? I can't even see. Okay, pick number 1. So this is all my list of fiction books. Oh, focus. That I want to read in 2022. So this one will be a really good one to, another box to check. And I have said before, but I'm like obsessed with this dress on this cover. If anyone knows where I can get my hands on this dress or a similar one, I would love to know. So this is set in, oh yeah, present day is Oxford, England. Like I really don't need to know more than that. And the past timeline is in 1940s England. And I don't know, do I even want to know anything going into it? I'll read it a little bit. So present day young American scholar Kendra is eager to pursue her vision of a perfect life, interviews Isabel just when the elderly woman is getting ready to give up secrets about the war she's kept for decades, beginning with who she really is. What Kendra receives from Isabel is both a gift and a burden, one that will test her convictions and her heart. Okay, sounds interesting. Just really love this dress, and I mean like the London scene on the bottom as well. It doesn't get much better than that. And then the last genre that I want to round out my TBR, which is looking large already, for the month of May is manga. So this last month I think I read my first manga and really loved it. And I want to continue that series. So the series is Spy Family. So I read books 1 and 2. And I currently have books 5 and 6 from the library. And books 3 and 4 are right now waiting for me. So I just need to pick them up. I will talk more about this series in my month reading wrap up, but I loved it and I'm really excited to continue on. It's about a man who is a spy, and for a mission he needs to get married and have a kid. So he gets married to a woman he doesn't realize is an assassin, and he adopts this child that he doesn't realize is a oh my goodness, what's the word? A telepath. There we go. So it's interesting. The illustrations are adorable. I don't even want to flip through these ones right now because I don't want spoilers, but I will probably read all 4 of those manga. And then my patrons, honestly, over on Patreon, we're talking about Animal Crossing, and I'm like so close to buying my own Switch for myself to play Animal Crossing, but I'm never gonna read books again, I think, because I have kind of a bit of an obsessive personality. So once I get started, I think books will be out the window and I will just be playing Animal Crossing. But then I saw that Animal Crossing has a manga, and I thought I would give it a try. I have no idea, like, is this... Yeah, it's junior fiction, so it's written for little kids. It's cute. I don't know, maybe this will like fulfill my Animal Crossing craving and I won't even want to play the game. I don't know. It looks cool. So I'm gonna give this one a try and we'll go from there. So this ends up being quite the stack. Let's see here, can I show you all these? So not including my short story readathon stack. This, this is way too many, is my TBR for May. So let me know if there's like some books I definitely need to prioritize because I want to read those ones first. I want to read the books I'm most excited about first. The manga are probably going to be first as soon as I pick them up from the library. Although honestly, will they even last till May? They might get read in April. We'll see. Yeah, let me know what you're most excited to see me read. And then also, oh, I forgot a book. Hold on. But let me know if this is a whodunit. I forgot a book, you guys. I'm in so much trouble in me. Rhythm of War. This is also going on my TBR. Because I didn't have enough books on my TBR, right? I had a strategy here. And then I started adding more books to my TBR. So is this strategy going to work? This is just over 1,200 pages. So is there 4 weekends in May or is there 5? Ooh, there is 5 weekends, I'm pretty sure, isn't there? My son's birthday is the very first weekend. So yeah, so there's a Sunday. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 weekends in May. My thought was to pretty much every month I do a page count reading challenge over on Patreon where we just set a number of pages we want to read each, like we do it on a weekend. Each weekend that we do it, you set a page number goal and try to hit it. Doesn't matter if you do or if you don't. If you want to challenge yourself, go for it. If you just want to see how many pages you read, it's all for fun. It's encouraging. It's a lot of fun. I was thinking of trying to read 400 pages each weekend in May. I honestly don't think I'll be able to do it, but it might be fun to challenge myself, and I'll read a lot more of this than I would otherwise. So I think that like on the weekends, this is all I can read, and I try to read 400 pages. I could get it done then if I could actually complete that. So that's also on my TBR. So, you know, it's even bigger. Yeah, so now let me know what you want to read for the month of May and answer my other questions from before. Thanks for watching, guys.